the criminal justice system, and men, y'all. And not just within the criminal justice system. I'm going to explain the example I'm going to use for situations outside of the criminal justice system. Now, I will be talking about weight and health, y'all. So you will get some pointers and some perspective of how I view things, y'all. So it goes on a lot amongst males. Y'all underestimate the jealousy of other men, y'all. A lot of men, y'all may think it's just something that ladies do, but no, not the case. So I'm going to start with the first example within the criminal justice system. And it also can lead to a lot of violence, right? And I'm not talking about amongst the inmates. That's a totally separate situation. I'm going to begin by speaking about the jealousy that the male workers, guards, security, any man that has to interact with the inmates, right? So let me first share some facts with you. Also, I'm just going to say this. When it comes to the weight issue, I have successfully and consistently kept 25 pounds off, y'all, over the past 3 years where I've been able to keep it off. Okay. 4 years ago, I struggled. I would lose the 25 pounds, lose 18 pounds, gain it right back. And I'm talking about sometimes gain it back within 2 or 3 days, y'all. So I have successfully kept it off. So I am a person that understands weight, workouts and all of that. I'm not no girl bodybuilder, right? I'm not a lady bodybuilder, but I do believe in health. I have never had an obese child. None of my children, and I have a lot of children, y'all, none of them have ever suffered from obesity. Okay. And so I'm going to go over this first. And I'm not downgrading if you have. I have suffered from obesity. Okay. And from being overweight. But none of my children have. Okay. I'm just going to point that out. So I think what happens with me is I'm too busy keeping the kids' health in order, and I let myself go at one point, but I had successfully kept the 25 pounds off. Yes, I am still in the overweight range. Okay. However, early stage obesity, according to the Rush.edu, but I am maintaining the lowest weight that I can for right now, that weight being below 165, y'all. 165 and below is what I'm maintaining as far as weight. I am short, not 4'11", but I am short. I'm I'm over 5'1", basically. We'll put it like that. However, I am keeping my weight, the 25 pounds off, and keeping me out of the scary phase, y'all. I was in the scary phase, right? I got up, my body didn't take. So let's go through this first. So I'm, if you hear me typing, and you can do this with me. I want you to Google average weight. Okay, Google this with me right now. And it will bring up, for my phone, it brings up the Rush University Medical Center, which is www.rush.edu. Okay, I'm going to say it one more time. Rush University Medical Center. And it's going to be www.rush.edu. Click on that. Okay. Scroll down. You're going to see how much should I weigh, find a doctor, find a location. You're not there for any of that right now. Okay. I want you to scroll down, keep scrolling. And then you're going to come right here to where it says height and weight chart. I want this to become your new chart for weight versus height. So we're going to start with the average height of a man. Let's 5'6", 5'7". We'll start with 5'6". Okay. Since that's the average height of most males, anywhere from 5'6" to 5'10", I think would be more of the average weight for a man. Being really tall is actually not average, y'all, just so you know that. Both look good on men. Short, average, tall, whatever height a man is, they all look good to me. So, okay, we're going to start with 5'6". So a man that is 5'6", 5 feet 6 inches, normal weight for him would be anywhere from 118 pounds to 154 pounds. Okay. No matter the age. For any male 18 and over, okay, 118 to 154. So this is a good range here for normal weight. Now, if he's 5'6" and he's 155 pounds to 185 pounds, he is now overweight. Okay. Doesn't mean he's going to look bad. He could be working out. He could be a bodybuilder. He may prefer to be in this weight category. I don't know. Now, if he is 5'6" and he is 186 pounds to 241 pounds, he has now entered obesity, y'all. So basically consider this small, medium, large. If you want to break it down, if you don't want to really say the man is obese, he's rock hard, he's a big guy, he's a big man. He will have some health problems. I promise you this. Whether it be hypertension, sleep issues, knee pain, ankle pain, muscle spasms. It's very rare that someone is in the obese category and does not have any issues from it, especially when he's been obese for quite a while, okay? And was not obese as a child, okay? Some children that are obese kind of their body adjusts to that for a while anyway, and will cause them problems much later. So what happens? Okay, we're talking about the criminal justice system and men, right? So I'm going to bring up the Robert Brooks case, okay? He was a black man, slim built, beat to death by some big guards, y'all, big prison workers that were at least in the overweight to obese weight categories, according to Rush.edu. So say one of them looked pretty tall that was beating him. So say he was about 5'11", 6 feet. They was at least 184 pounds or above if one of the gentlemen was about 6 feet. Because that one that was beating Robert Brooks, he was real jealous of him, y'all. And see, you got to understand and learn jealousy. You got to understand it amongst men, right? Sometimes we get too deep and we try to look too deep into something. But when I watched that Robert Brooks beating, one of the first things I noticed was his weight, was his beautiful brown skin. I'm not zoned in on his crime, right? I'm zoned in on this incident as it's happening. And I observe how big and how ugly and how disgusting some of those big ass men were. Okay. And that's why he got the beating he got. Envy, y'all. Envy and karma is not a good combination. And being at the wrong location. Okay. Robert Brooks should not be in that jail or prison. He should not have done what he did to get himself in that horrific situation. So, because of that dynamic and him being at that location, that was the result of what happened. So, it can happen within your own families with your own relatives. A lot of people, males especially, if you're doing prison visit, jail visits, they may report these things to you. You know, one of the guards or somebody at the court or at the jail or prison, they called me skinny. They said, hey, man, you look bony. You're not big enough. Okay. The genetic build of the brown black man in America is a athletic build. And his original build for a brown man is a normal weight, y'all. It is a slim build. That is an athletic build. Okay, that is an athletic build. I used to be normal size. Okay. Rhianna. Okay, let's look at Rhianna, for example. She's a lady. But if you look up her height and weight, she's normal weight, but she's on the higher end of normal weight. That's why she has the thickness to her. Okay. So guard, security, in the Robert Brooke case, I'm for sure that they were hating on his weight. Okay. It's see, I'm up under a prophetic mindset, right? I have the gift and ability to view something, and I don't even have to be there very long, y'all. That's just a gift of mine. I have the ability to view something and look at it for what it is, right? And basically, they haters, they jealous of this man, y'all, and it happens to a lot of males. I've seen it outside of the criminal justice system. So if you are a normal built man, you gotta stay normal built. You gotta stay normal weight. If you're 5'6", you need to stay this particular normal weight, anywhere from 118 pounds to 154 pounds. Now, if you are 5'7", you should be 121 pounds to 158 pounds. And this chart is global for ladies and men. So a lady that's 5'6" should be 118 to 154 pounds. I love Rush.edu, Rush University Medical Center. I think that's what it says. Yeah, whatever. What did I say? Let me go back in here, y'all. Yeah, Rush University Medical Center. I said it right. So this is the chart I go by because it has the flexibility. Remember, when you Google average weight, you'll come to Rush University Medical Center. You click on it, and then you scroll down. It'll begin with how much should I weigh? You scroll down, and you will come right to height and weight chart. And then if you got a phone, you gotta just scroll over, because when you first bring it up, you're just gonna see normal and overweight. So you want to scroll to your left to see the obese number. Okay. So for 5'6", obese is 186 pounds to 241. Okay. Like I said, I kept 25 pounds off, but what happens with vulnerable minds with males? You really got to know who you are as a male. So in the early stage of a man's life, that's the cracking stage. That's the stage of his life where he's either going to prosper, become more intelligent, or he's just going to crack and just crumble. But a lot of the reasons he would do it is because of other jealous males that are jealous. And so guards and male workers, some of them will be very confident. I mean, you may have one of them that's about 5'6", and he's a bodybuilder, and he's a little in that overweight um, area of the chart. So he may weigh 155 to 185. If he's 170 and 5'6" and he's a bodybuilder, he's very confident. He knows he may be a few pounds overweight, but he's building up muscle, he's healthy, he's fine. Okay, but that man knows he really should be 154 pounds. Okay, so it's better to be in the normal weight stage or category. It's better to be in the normal weight category for blood pressure and other health issues as well. When I had the 25 pounds that I kept on me 4 years ago, I had knee problems, y'all. So no more knee problems. Okay. I made sure keeping the 25 pounds off minimizes the stress on my knees, preventing me from getting cartilage damage and all that kind of stuff. So even if a man is incarcerated, he's still going to have people that are jealous of him. And it will most likely be the other men that are there. Now, I'm not saying all the men will be, but some of those men may not even be aware of why they're jealous. So this is where incarcerated males, young and old, begin to go through psychological warfare and abuse. Okay? Because the other men, you going in a jail as a young man, the younger men are especially victimized. Okay. These will be the younger men that are smaller in stature and are normal weight that the guards may try to violate and do horrible things to, if you know what I mean. But they will be jealous. And this is the thing. Once you understand jealousy and you understand that in your, what you may think is your worst situation and your trial and tribulation that you're going through, no matter what that situation is, somebody is going to find something about you to be jealous of. Okay? And if you are a jealous person, aware or unaware of it, it's better to become aware of it. If you're an envious person, stop asking people questions. I was asked a question a couple of days ago. I did my first live, and a sister asked me, what size underwear did I wear? Because she's trying to give out some items and stuff to get rid of. I said small. Small and misses. Okay? You got to keep this in mind for ladies' underwear. Even if I wear a 10-12, women's underwear runs smaller than their clothes size. So if I wear a medium in clothes and I wear 8, 10, 12, medium to large, whatever those sizes are, even wearing a 10-12, your underwear size are going to be small. So you could wear a size 7 in underwear. That's a small. So when the sister said, what size do you wear? And I said small, you could hear a pin drop. There was this complete silence, right? So, but it's really the worst for men when they get in situations where they have no control. They don't have full control. They can't speak up for themselves. And they're in horrific environments, dangerous environments. And it is my opinion, as I watched the Robert Brooks beating, it is my opinion and it is my perspective by looking at that video and seeing how big some of those men were. Those men were insecure, overweight, obese. Some of them might have been off the chart. See, if you're not on this chart and you're in no category on this Rush.edu chart, that means your BMI is high and you are morbidly obese. Okay. So I am for sure that Robert Brooks' beating, there was an envious spirit within these men. Nice brown skin, slim built. Hey, they murdered him and beat him to death, but he still goes in his casket a normal weight man. Okay? He does. It doesn't change his size. Them beating him and being envious of his size because he's a normal weight Black man or indigenous man, it will not change the fact that he's still normal size. Doesn't change that fact. And so when you're going to see, if you're ever in a situation where you're visiting incarcerated people that are in jails and prisons, and they mention these type of statements that's being made, especially when they're younger, take the information, at some point, remind them, you are a normal weight. Okay. You're the weight you're supposed to be. And make sure you let inmates and incarcerated males know that, young man, just because you are incarcerated, you still will experience jealousy. No matter your situation, you will experience some level of jealousy. And it can lead to a situation like Robert Brooks. Overweight and obese people, even myself, y'all, I know that I'm not supposed to be this weight. I still got more weight to lose. But see, I understand I'm doing it to myself, right? So if I worked in a women's jail, I don't have a problem with one of the inmates that's normal weight, that's slim and beautiful. No matter her situation, she's incarcerated in jail. I'm going to be jealous of it, because if I want to be that size again, I need to put in the work. But males don't always think like that. Males do some of the most horrific crimes out of pure jealousy. So when you see people that's normal weight getting beat out and getting harmed and stuff like that, the envy of their body size, most people with normal body sizes as well are not ugly, y'all. It all goes together because the Lord created the beauty, right? The Lord created the face, the body, the slimness, and all. Just like the Lord created a medium build or overweight person that's a man. Some men, I'm not saying they all look bad, but what's looking bad is they mindset, and they jealous and don't understand there's three weights of men: normal, overweight or medium, you can call it medium, and obese / large. Let me name them again: normal, overweight or medium weight, or obese / large. These are the three categories of weights. And men got to understand that the male that's normal weight, that he's calling slim, is the weight that he should be if he's on the chart. So if someone is 5'6" and they are 118 pounds and 154 pounds to 154 pounds, if that person is 135, because see, you can be in between 118 to 154. So if that male is 135 pounds, that's the weight he should be. And it might be the weight that you should be too, if you are a male. Males that work at jails and prisons are some of the most hateful, envious men alive. Proof of it, watch that Robert Brooks beating. That ain't all karma that's coming in on them. See, males, don't put yourself at those locations. But this is the type of psychological warfare and abuse that they will be subjected to. One particular individual, if he goes higher than normal weight, his blood pressure goes up. Males will experience it from siblings, male siblings. Male siblings will abuse them and tell them they're skinny because that bigger brother that has a few more pounds on him makes fun of his little brother or little cousins because the weight is not there. People in general that are overweight and obese are not the happiest people, y'all. Do you know what weight does to the hormones? I was in a very, very unhealthy situation when I had that additional 25 pounds on me. I'm going to be, my goal is going to be to lose another 20 pounds. And when that happens, I'll report it. Being overweight and obese and morbidly obese, if you're morbidly obese, you won't be on this chart. It deformed you, y'all. Kevin Gates. Okay, Kevin Gates is a good example. I gained a lot of respect for Kevin Gates, y'all, when I looked at how big he was before and how much weight he lost. Oh my God. Look at the sex appeal and the beautiful man that Kevin Gates has become. Okay. He's just such a beautiful brown man. He's biracial. His mom is Puerto Rican and his dad is a black man. Okay. I thought he was just all black, but pretty much, in my opinion, Puerto Rican and black mix, you just like you all black to me, pretty much. I mean, a Puerto Rican is a melanated person, and then his dad is melanated. So yeah, that's Kevin Gates is a good example. So yeah, just keep this in mind. The abuse, and if you're visiting, and you've been in a situation visiting incarcerated males, young or old, it can happen even if the incarcerated man is an older man. He's gonna be abused by that staff, making comments. You looking kind of skinny, man. You okay? You eating enough? Making fun of them too because they're not getting the meals at the house. And those guards, they sit up in the courtrooms and the security guards, or whatever the male staff is. Now, there will be some males staffed in jails that are not insecure at all. They understand that there's small, medium, and large men, right? And men that will be not on this Rush.edu chart. They understand that. And they don't care. But usually they will. And it's very abnormal when a older sibling does it, makes fun of his younger brothers because the younger brothers or the correct weight, or all the brothers could actually be in the normal weight range, but just because the brother is on the higher end of the normal weight, he makes fun of his younger brother, calling him skinny and stuff like that. But actually, their younger brother or cousins is the weight that they're supposed to be. They're the normal weight. And because of that, people need to stop entering jails and prisons so they don't end up with the Robert Brooks situation. Because as I watched them blows and punches to Robert Brooks, that beating he took in that jail, that's a beating of envy. Yes, it may have other circumstances underneath it, right? But they didn't really say, Robert Brooks didn't hit them first. There was really no cause for that serious of a beating, but he's getting beat. You the weight I wish I was, man. Boom, boom, boom. I wish I was you. So some males on YouTube that I will use as examples of a normal body weight would be Timothy Ward would be one. Ringo TV reactions. If you look at Dr. Todd Grande, he's a little bit on the thicker side for males, so I guess maybe he would be in that medium category. But he's an okay weight, Dr. Todd Grande. But genetically, he may come from a thicker family that's a little bit more big boned, right? So yeah, so just looking at it from that perspective. But since this video, I'm talking a lot about the black male body too. For black men, I'm gonna specifically zone in on Timothy Ward. Those are brothers that Timothy Ward and Ringo TV reactions, men may say, oh, them some little guys. Look at them little guys. But they're normal body weights. That is the correct body weight that a man should be. Okay? So that pretty much sums it up for this. I'm going to be doing more and more lives, but I wanted to go over the abuse that males are subjected to from family members, people in the community, people at their job, but especially in incarcerated situations. I'm quite sure it's happening at the mental institutions as well. Okay, I'm quite sure it's going on there, but it's especially going on at jails and prisons, and it can lead a normal weight, especially a brown man, okay, because a lot of other melanated men, whether they be Samoan, Spanish, an islander, whatever race they're coming from, those big, overweight and obese men, even if it's another black man or another white man in that situation, will be jealous of slim men. And I'm quite sure that it happens with slim white guys too in jail and prison. A lot of the white guys, in my opinion, from what I've seen with the assaults and stuff that they go through, a lot of white guys, they had a normal weight baby face. They're abused as well and violated very horrifically just because of their size. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Weight abuse. Okay. So I'm gonna go over some numbers here, just to give you an idea. So if you're 5'7", normal weight is 121 pounds to 158 pounds. Overweight for 5'7" is 159 pounds to 190 pounds. Obese for 5'7" is 191 pounds to 241 pounds. Now, if you're 5'8", the same scale or category of these weight categories are for ladies and men, okay? Both. It's unisex. So for 5'8", normal weight should be 125 pounds to 163 pounds. Overweight should be 164 pounds to 196 pounds. Obese should be 197 pounds to 256 pounds. If you're 5'9", normal weight is 128 pounds to 168 pounds. Overweight is 169 pounds to 202 pounds. Obese, 203 pounds to 263 pounds if you're 5'9". 5'10", height, 132 pounds to 173 pounds is normal. 174 pounds to 208 pounds for 5'10" is overweight. For 5'10", 209 pounds to 271 pounds is obese. 5'11", 136 pounds to 178 pounds is normal. For 5'11", 179 pounds to 214 pounds is overweight. 215 pounds to 279 pounds is obese. For 6 feet, whether you're a lady or a man, 140 pounds to 183 pounds is normal. For 6 feet, 184 pounds to 220 pounds is overweight. For obese, for height of 6 feet, 221 pounds to 287 pounds. Okay, y'all, since I'm on the shorter side, I'm feeling a little sorry for the shorter people. So I'm going to go over these weights too. If you're 5'5", normal weight is 114 pounds to 149 pounds. Overweight is 150 pounds to 179 pounds if you're 5'5". Obese for 5'5" is 180 pounds to 234 pounds. If you are 5'4", 110 pounds to 144 pounds